And this is 36, the podcast. Podcast. 36, the podcast. And this is 36, the podcast.
What's up, Fairbanks? What's up, Fairbanks, North Star Borough? My name is Tilden,
I'm Alexis.
And I'm Brandon.
and this is 36 the Podcast. Today on 36 the Podcast, we sit down with Nicole Gebhardt, military spouse, advocate, author, and the current National Guard Spouse of the Year. Nicole's journey is one of resilience, leadership, healing, and service beyond uniform. From navigating the realities of military family life to becoming a voice for spouses and families across the country, she has transformed personal hardship into purpose. Nicole is also the author of the Queen's Companion book, Broken Wings, Broken Dreams, A Mother's Life After Infant Loss and Miscarriage, The Healing Cocoon, and A Queen Saves Herself. Books that explore grief, healing, growth, and personal empowerment. In this episode, we talk about military life, advocacy, motherhood, loss, resilience, writing, and the strength it takes to rebuild yourself through life's hardest moments. Nicole Gebhardt, welcome to 36 the Podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, thank you. When I first realized, that the extent of who you are, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be a good one right here.
Yeah, I was super excited when you reached out. We have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah. So we are going to cover a lot of good stuff. And, first of all, I want to thank you and your husband for your service.
Thank you. Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
Because it does take a lot. And not only for him doing what he does, but also as a military spouse, because my wife and I, we've been married for 36 years.
Oh, wow.
And so she was with me for the 20 years of my military service, as well as now as a Department of the Army civilian. So, every so often we have to uproot. So it's not, so it's not, so it's pretty tough for everybody involved.
Right.
All right. So thank you guys once again.
Yes, thank you for your support.
All right. However, as we do always, before we get into the meat and potatoes, today's tap, it's going to be a goza, and it's conditioned with what? Pineapples?
Pure pineapple juice.
Pure pineapple juice. So it's a goza. I love me a goza. I'm a goza guy, right?
I'm not.
And so today's tap, you're not a goza guy? Okay, so today's tap is going to be goza. Now, and like I said before, 36 podcast, yes, it's based off of 36 ounces of beer and the conversations that we have sitting around this table while drinking those beers. However, to be on 36 the podcast as either a guest or a guest host, you don't have to drink beer. All right. So I also want to point out and congratulate you on 6 years of sobriety.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. And so you are, I'm assuming that's hot water.
It is.
Okay, so you can have a nice hot water. Alexis, what are you drinking today? What's your drink of choice?
My new favorite energy drink is called Uptime. It's all natural energy. It's got,
Okay.
Nice.
teas in it and stuff
All
like
right,
that.
and so these are both alcohol free, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so don't let us, so don't let us peer pressure you into drinking beer. All right, you don't have to drink beer. Listen to 36 podcast to be a guest host on 36 podcast, or to be a host, or to be a guest on 36 podcast. But having said all that, Brandon and I, we're going to go ahead and take a little sippy sip of today's tap and tell you what we think.
Can you
about it.
smell the pineapple?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can really taste it.
Oh yeah, you can taste the
So
pineapple.
sweet.
Yeah.
Tastes sweet.
It's sweet and tart.
Tart?
Yeah.
I think the pineapple takes away some of the sourness of the goza, which is what I really don't like about the goza.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking ill of anybody's beer. A lot of people do like the goza, and Bobby makes really good beer.
Yeah.
But this one, for me as a goza, is very drinkable.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
This is a clean, refreshing beer. This is one of those beers to me, because I do get the sour from the goza, and I'm also picking up that pineapple juice too, right? And so it's not It's not too little. It's not overbearing. It's like they got this one right with the proportions, I'm thinking.
Kind of finishes heavy with the pineapple, which I like.
Yeah. So kudos to Bobby and the mad scientists in the back that come up with these concoctions for us to explore every Saturday. So once again, kudos to those guys. Before we go any further, you could find us on all your usual suspects, your Spotify, your Pandora, Apple, as far as audio. And of course, you know where to find us if you're watching the video, YouTube. We also have a presence on Facebook, which is going to be 3060 Podcast. All right. So, Nicole, are you on any socials?
I am on all the socials.
Okay.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can look up Nicole B. Gebhardt and you'll find me there.
Okay, and so what we're going to do is in the description on the video and also on the audio, if you scroll down to the bottom, we're going to put everywhere you can find Nicole on social medias. All right, so be on the lookout for that, though. So I'm going to try to get this video posted as soon as possible. But having said that, Nicole, are you ready?
I am so ready.
All righty, Brandon, Alexis, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so I'll take the first question.
Okay.
All right, so for people hearing your story the first time, who is Nicole Gebhardt outside of the title National Guard Spouse of the Year?
Wow. So we're just jumping right in with that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Great question. Nicole Gebhardt is a woman who's experienced more pain than a lot of people could wrap their minds around, but has turned that pain into a very, very powerful purpose. My story starts as a young little girl. I was molested by my own father for years. There was a lot of verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and when I told him I was going to tell on him, he said I was not worthy or good enough for anyone to ever believe me, or worthy or good enough for anyone to ever love me. So those words stuck with me for years, worthy, good enough. I never felt like I could attain that.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up in a small town right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. So when college came, I wanted to go far, far away. I went to Florida State University, thought I was finally free, life was going to be good. And then I was raped my freshman year of college. I was at an off-campus fraternity party, and I had my virginity stolen from me. I was a virgin at the time. And then when I went on to tell people, they didn't believe me. And so when it happened later in life, when my husband was deployed with the military, I didn't tell a soul.
Yeah.
So life kept going. I thought I finally had met my forever person. We got pregnant very quickly. Our first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage, and I was devastated. I was that girl that wanted all the babies, all the things. So we lost our first daughter. Then we got pregnant again, and it was my first day back from maternity leave. I walked into my son's nursery, and I found him lifeless in his crib. He was 9 weeks old. His name is Samuel.
Okay.
Placed Samuel on the floor, started giving him CPR in hopes to bring him back to life. My mama heart knew he was already gone.
Okay.
The first responders got there. I was treated like a criminal. I was shoved into a bedroom. I had to give a statement to the police. I wasn't even allowed to tell my son goodbye. Went on to have another miscarriage, and my husband at the time ran to drugs and became very abusive, emotional, mental, physical, all the things. And one evening, I walked into the bathroom while he was doing a line of cocaine on the bathroom counter while giving our 2-year-old a bath. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I've got to break the cycle. Grabbed her out of the bathtub, grabbed my 1-year-old out of his crib, grabbed my very pregnant belly, as I was 7 months pregnant at the time, and we ran for our lives. I had no clue how I was going to keep food on the table, a roof over our heads. We were living on food stamps. We were nearly homeless. I was working every single second just to keep the lights on, but I was determined to do it.
Wow.
So life kept going, and I thought I was doing well, and then everything just came tumbling down, and I started drinking. I started drinking all the time. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, I didn't want to feel. Life was just too much. I couldn't work through the rape and the abuse, but it was really the pregnancy and infant loss that just brought me to my knees. And so October 15th, 2019, it was Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. I decided I was going to take my own life, so I tried to commit suicide. I got completely drunk. I ended up falling down 2 flights of stairs. My husband now, he found me at the bottom. He said I was barely breathing, barely responding. He called 911. When the first responders got me to the hospital, the doctors in the ER said I wasn't going to survive. I had a brain bleed, brain contusion, 5 times the legal limit of alcohol. Well, After a week in the ICU, I did survive. And when I woke up in that moment, I quickly realized I had two choices. I could literally lay down and die, or I could get up, get clean, sober, do the work and heal and turn that pain into purpose. And I chose the second one. And I feel so blessed and honored that I have done that. I'm now a published author, a best-selling author. I've published 4 books. I get to teach others how to feel beautiful and worthy and enough after experiencing so much trauma. I get to travel the world and share that. And I was just named 2026 National Guard Spouse of the Year.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. I warned you.
Okay.
I warned you.
Wow. That's a remarkable story.
Thank you.
And I mean, that just shows you how good God is, right?
Amen. Amen.
You know, because without your faith and without, you know, his strength, you know, the average person would break, you know, and so like you prove your resiliency.
Yeah. I remember feeling like I could feel Samuel with me when I woke up in the hospital bed in the ICU. And I remember him saying, like, Mommy, you're not supposed to be so depressed, so anxious. You're supposed to live your life and be happy and get out there and want to get up out of bed each day. And so that was another part of my journey, was really like leaning into my own faith and realizing I couldn't do this alone.
Right.
I needed help.
Right.
And that it was okay to ask for help.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, so before we go any further, what's the time span we're talking about? What's the time span?
So it started at age 4 with the abuse. Then I was 18, went to college.
Okay, so 18 went to college. Okay.
And then I moved to Navarre, Florida, in the panhandle of Florida. Thought I met my forever person. Went on to get my master's degree. So that was around age 25.
Okay.
And then everything, I just turned 45, and the last 20 years have really been a lot. 2019, which was 6 years ago, that's when I got sober. So this part of my journey, the healing part and standing up and finding myself and my voice and my worth, has been the last 6 years.
Gotcha. Okay, so so the 6 years, is that the incident where you fell down 2
Correct.
slides?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 years ago. It'll be 7 this October.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a point. I couldn't do it any longer. Like,
Gotcha.
I felt like I was having to just hold it all together, and I couldn't. I didn't want to live without my son that died and the 2 baby daughters I miscarried. And I had just hit a point on top of living this military life, which is not easy.
Right.
You're moving every 2 years. You're starting over. You're building this new support system. It all came tumbling down. I couldn't do it anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So we started talking about your military life and your moving. So what actually brought you into the military? Did you have any previous experience military-wise before you met your spouse?
Absolutely not. I was, even as a young child, I was like, I'll never be a military spouse. Those women have to be so brave, so strong, so independent. There's no way I can do that life. And it was really funny. After my divorce from my first husband, because of all the abuse, my sister was like, you need to date again. You need to go out with someone. I was like, you're crazy. First, no one's ever going to want to be with me and 3 young children.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, let's get on Match.com. And I'm talking old school, like the website. There's no apps or anything. I'm like, okay, got on it. And I started talking to my husband now, December 26th. We had our first date New Year's Eve, and we were engaged by that February and married by that June. And we've been together 14 years now.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh.
So it's when you know, you know. But it was funny when I set up my account. My sister's like, well, what are your non-negotiables? I was like, well, he can't be in the military.
Oh,
He just celebrated
oops.
29 years in the military.
Oops.
He can't have more than 1 child because I've already got 3. He's got 3.
Yeah,
So we blended a family of 8 of us total.
Yeah.
And he had to be local. And at that time, he lived in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that
Yeah.
God was like, nope,
Yeah.
this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Got you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. So what does the title National Guard Spouse of the Year mean to you?
Honestly, I've been through a lot. I've achieved a lot, but it is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever been given. You know, I didn't think I'd get past Alaska, and then when I was named Alaska National Guard Spouse of the Year, I was like, that's it. And then when I found out it was the top 3 out of all thousands and thousands of National Guard spouses, and then when I got the phone call that I won, my husband, of course, was gone with the military because that's the life we live.
Yes.
And I was like, I have to FaceTime with you, but I didn't want to give it away. And so when I told him, the look on his face brought me to tears. It was such a beautiful moment that we've worked hard. This is a hard life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it finally felt like, holy shit, we did this. And it's just been amazing to carry this title. I feel like I get to represent who we are.
Right.
So it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't really recognize when I read that was like, of all the National Guard.
National Guard.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so was there a specific moment when you realized that you wanted to become an advocate for like military families? Okay, what was the transition for you, like your awakening?
My awakening really was laying in that hospital bed. And when I did wake up, I quickly realized like I've got to make a different choice here. So I did the hard work. I got clean. I got sober. I was addicted to over-counter drugs. Like it was all these steps. I got the help. I started asking for help. When I hit about my 1-year sobriety anniversary, I was like, whoa, there's something bigger than this.
Yeah.
I got to be doing more than this. Thinking of all the trauma that I've experienced and been able to heal from. And that's when I said, holy crap, I got to write a book.
Yeah.
And one book became 2 to 3 to 4. I got to get out there. I got to start sharing. I got to do podcasts because I continue to share because 1, I want others to know they're not alone.
Right.
And 2, I want others to know you could literally walk through hell, rape, abuse, infant loss, miscarriage, addiction, and still come out on top and still live that life you've always wanted to live.
Right.
So it was about 1 year in, I said, oh, this is way bigger. This is going to get big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I want to go back to your timeline. And if I'm getting too personal, just let me know. Okay, so you guys been married for 14 years.
Correct.
So the drug abuse was within the 14 years
Oh,
you
yeah.
as a military spouse?
Oh yeah, that was part of my journey. I don't think my husband knew how bad it was because
Okay, so were you hiding it from him?
Oh my gosh, yes. We're talking about hiding champagne bottles, wine bottles
Okay.
in the closet, throwing them away before he gets back in town. I became a full-blown functioning alcoholic. A lot of people around me had no clue I'd been drinking all day because I was able to just keep the shit together. Yeah, I was a
okay.
full-blown functioning alcoholic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
So, what were some of the unique challenges for National Guard families and that civilians might not fully understand?
Absolutely. With National Guard, everybody thinks we're just these weekend warriors, that we have these drill on the weekends, and that is not us at all. Our family has moved 9 times in the last 13 years.
Damn.
There
I didn't realize you guys moved.
Yeah.
Damn.
9 times.
Okay, now so is that because he's a commander and
No.
like commanders do
That is
like
the
2-year
life.
stints?
Really?
That is the life.
How?
Yeah.
How?
It's
Because
just
I thought you guys just got to stay in one state.
if you go ahead.
well, yeah, because my ex-son-in-law, he was Air Force, and when him and my daughter PCS to Germany, it was like a 4-year stint.
So we're active National Guard. So
Oh,
we
you're
have
active guard.
chosen. We're
Okay.
active Guard.
Okay.
So we have chosen that life.
Okay.
We started in Savannah. We were with the Georgia National Guard, and then Jeff realized, my husband, he flies the C-130s. He wanted to do more.
Okay.
So he got a job at the Pentagon, and then it just kept going. And to continue to promote, you do have to
Yeah.
move. So that's
Yeah,
the promotion thing that comes with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
So you said you're active National Guard, so that kind of changes this question a little bit, but how does the active National Guard life differ from active duty military life from the spouse's perspective?
Well, again, one of the biggest things is we do deploy.
Sorry.
They do deploy. We do move all the time. We do start over. But also with the National Guard, while their deployments are often overseas, we're stateside as well. That's what makes the National Guard different. So we get deployed out of the country, but also stateside. So for example, during COVID, everybody's saying, I'm so sick of my spouse, blah, 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 blah. I didn't see mine. He was one of those personnel that had to keep going to work because we're National Guard.
Yeah.
So I don't think people realize that we're stateside as well as international.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what has been the hardest season you and your family have had to navigate together?
Honestly, was after my fall.
Okay.
I had so much brain damage. I had to stay in bed for a good 6 weeks. And my husband's military. You can't just stay home.
Right.
And so my mom had to move in with us for a while, and we don't have the best relationship because of my childhood.
Yeah.
So it was me just really figuring out, how am I going to live? How am I going to survive this? And it was a big time in my life where I did finally ask for help. I started reaching out to fellow military spouses in the area and saying, I need help with my children. And they were so quick to start bringing meals to the house. And remember, this is right after, like during COVID and all of that.
Yeah.
And so it was a turning point in myself where I became my own advocate, but also realized it's okay to ask for help. Why do we have to feel like we have to do everything alone, especially in this military spouse world? We have to,
Right.
just carry it all and do it all. That's not the truth.
Right. Right.
It is perfectly okay to ask for help.
Gotcha.
It's like a
Okay.
family. Military spouses are like a family.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So with your spouse, your whole family, everybody's moving all the time. I'm sure during that time, there's got to be a few goals that maybe you had to put on hold.
Absolutely. You know, I was just telling my husband, Jeff, I feel like for a long time, I got lost. I was the mom, the military spouse, and that was it for me. And it goes back to about 1 year of my sobriety. I remember having a hard conversation with him, and I said, no, I'm supposed to do more. I'm supposed to write books and speak and become a mental health therapist for women. And that was when he said, hey, if you want me to be done, I'll be done. I was like, I think we can both do it together.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. We're about 5 years out from retirement. I'm like, it's finally my time. He's going to support me. We're going everywhere. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, I know the life of a military spouse is so hard. And, you know, I give a bunch of kudos to anybody who wants to take on that role because of love. And, you know, because it's like, my wife has been in situations where she's been at jobs that she's loved those jobs and those positions, right? And I'm like, oh, time to go. Say goodbye. And she's like, okay, let's go. So that takes a lot.
It does take a lot. I think one of the things I learned very quickly when I watched all the other military spouses go for that, I wanted to make sure I had a career that I could do it wherever we went. So I can write books wherever we can go. I can speak wherever we go. I can start support groups wherever we can go. I can take on clients. There's this beautiful thing called Zoom. I mean, but it definitely is. It is hard when you completely start over every time. You're not only building a new career, but you're building a new support system and a new for your children. My husband always says, as soon as we go somewhere, I know what I'm doing. I know what my job is. I'm like, I don't freaking have any clue what I'm doing. You know, so the first thing I do when we move is build that community because you've got to have it.
Yeah, true.
You've got to have it.
True. That is true. That is true.
So what does the community play? What role does the community play in surviving and thriving in the military life?
It's a huge part of it. I'll never forget when my husband called me from the Pentagon. He said, guess what? We're moving to Alaska. And I said, guess what? No, we're not. You're going by yourself. You're going to geo batch. We're staying back. But the more research I did, I quickly realized they never had a pregnancy and infant loss support group here in Fairbanks. They never had a spouse that speaks openly about addiction, military spouse that speaks openly about addiction and abuse. And I quickly realized, like, I couldn't get here quick enough.
Right.
We could not get here quick enough.
Right.
And in doing so, I've been able to plant these seeds and grow these support groups here. I don't just do it for military spouses, I also do it for the community as well. So I think it's just building something that you want and that you want to keep going, because every time we leave, I don't want it to just fall away. So I'm intentionally making sure there are other people that can keep these things going once I leave.
Okay, now, so is this something that has been established not only here, but Army or National Guard, not Army, I'm sorry, Air Force, or just all services wide, or is this only specific to the region that you're serving
Like the
in now?
support group?
Yes.
No, that's for anyone. I
Okay.
mean, when you lose a child, you lose a child. There's no difference if you're Air Force or Army or National Guard or.
Okay, but as far as locations,
Oh, I do the Zoom. I do one online as well. So I do a
Okay.
local one here. Actually, I do two locals. So one for military spouses, one for the Fairbanks community, and then I do one online so everybody else can just tune in as well.
so no matter where they're located.
Oh yeah, that has been my goal.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to switch over to this screen right here before I ask my question right there, right? Okay, so your books, The Queen's Companion book, Broken Wings, Broken Dreams, A Mother's Life After Infant Loss and Miscarriage, The Healing Cocoon, and The Queen Saves Herself are deeply personal. What inspired you to begin writing?
I wanted others to be able to just pick something up when they were ready to heal. It is expensive to hire a coach. It is expensive to, go to these workshops and the retreats. So I wanted to put something out there that was super inexpensive that you could just pick it up when you were ready to start your healing journey.
Okay.
So that is why I wrote the books. You can grab it, throw it in your purse, put it in your car, and start that journey.
What's the time frame of writing these books? Like are you on a set schedule because of your publisher, or do you just, as it comes to you put something out? How does that work?
As it comes to me, I put something out. So I've written 4, and I'm like, I'm going to probably take a minute break of this. It's a lot to write a book, and we'll talk. It's a lot of the healing part of it as well. You're putting a lot on pen to paper that you've already experienced, and it's almost like reliving it over and over again.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Does that bring up trauma? Like reliving those stories, does it affect you at all?
It definitely does affect me, but what affects me honestly is when, like, for instance, we were just in Washington, D.C. for the National Guard Spouse of the Year. I had a woman come up to me and said, "You are the reason I'm still here today. Your books are the reason why I want to get out of bed. Your books have been something that have kept me here alive and, excited about life again." And those are obvious. Those are often the moments that hit me more than writing. I think writing is such a huge part of anyone's journey. I completely say, if you want to start your journey of healing, start to journal. Pull out a piece of paper and just start to write, because it will change your life. And definitely there were things that came up that was like, oh, I really haven't worked through that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I might need to get back in counseling, and that's okay. But it's the point of being able to recognize that that's something I still need to work through and work on.
Okay. All right.
So what would you say out of writing your books, what was the hardest part of sharing these stories publicly, knowing that everybody else is going to read what you have to write?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the beginning was the hardest because it was reliving it. But then there was a point in it where I started seeing all these lives getting changed, where I'm getting this feedback about the books, about the speaking, that I was like, oh my gosh, like my son in heaven is so proud of me and I've got to keep going. And it was more of like the reactions that I was getting. My inbox was getting filled up like, I needed this today. I no longer feel alone. I feel seen. I feel heard. And I think it was really that motivation that kept me going, because definitely in the beginning I'm like, oh, I have to keep talking about finding him and the things. So you just kind of learned that, like, well, let's talk more about the positive part of it instead of the trauma part of it.
Okay. So you already answered this question a little bit when we were talking about the last two questions, but did writing The Healing Cocoon become part of your own healing process?
Absolutely. And it goes back to when I started my own healing journey. Some of the biggest things I did was I started to journal. I started putting pen to paper and figuring out what did I need to do to heal? And some of the things were forgiveness. I had to forgive my past. I had to forgive people that had burned me. I had to forgive myself. Like when my son died in the miscarriages, for the longest time I thought it was my fault. I was convinced that if I had done this differently or done that differently, which was wild because I even had my master's degree in human development and family studies. So I knew I had done everything right. Right, exactly. But it was really me having to get out of my own head and realizing that it wasn't my fault. So definitely starting the process of writing, especially Healing Cocoon, it is the steps that I've taken to get to where I am after pregnancy and infant loss. When my son died, there was memoirs and there were stories, but there was nothing like, this is what you do, point A to point Z. And that is why I created the Healing Cocoon, because I wanted others to be able to pick it up, man or woman, pick it up and say, this is what I can do to get from A to Z after experiencing such agonizing pain of losing a child.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. So what does the title Queen Saves Herself? Okay. So what, man, like that's catchy. Like I like that, right? Like a queen, right? So when I was looking through your book titles, and that one in particular, it stuck with me. Like, okay, a queen.
I love that.
Okay, so what does that mean to you personally?
So I love this question. For the longest time, I didn't even feel like I was worthy to be called a princess. I didn't think I was worthy to be treated like a princess or a queen, or that's something that with my worth and feeling good enough, I struggled for the longest time. And then when I finally felt like, holy shit, I am a queen and I'm worthy to be treated like a queen, I said, this has got to be part of my platform, putting out there. My husband, he has even legally adopted my 3 children and treats me like a queen. Yeah. This is the life I prayed for and worked for and wanted to have. And so the moment I started writing books, I was like, oh, I've got to talk about the queen, because every woman is worthy to be treated like a queen and to feel like a queen and to live like a queen. Yes. So that is why I chose that title.
Yeah, okay. That's very nice. That's a very catchy title.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So out of all the books that you've written, if you could create just kind of like one quote that encompasses what your writing is about, what would you say?
You are worthy, you are beautiful, and you are more than enough. That would be it.
I love it.
That would be it.
Awesome. Okay.
So have you ever had readers share stories with you about how their books help them through like grief, trauma, and healing?
Yes, and that is why I keep going, even in those hard moments when I've said, oh, I can't talk about Samuel anymore, or the miscarriages or the rape or the abuse. I was like, no, because that's what I get. I get people writing me letters and writing me emails and reaching out on social media saying, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. Like I shared when my son died and when I hit that point, like, I didn't want to live. And that, unfortunately, is a huge part of others who have experienced all this kind of trauma. And that's why I continue to go. I want people not only want to live, but to be happy and be excited for life and realize that this is a beautiful life. This is a beautiful world we live in. And I want people to feel that joy where every time you wake up and, you know, you're out, you just feel happy. And so that's what I can continue to do, because the feedback I get is, I needed that. I now feel worthy. I now feel beautiful. I now feel no longer alone.
Right. Awesome. That's awesome. And, you know, a lot of that, too, I want to give kudos to your husband, you know, because, you know, without him behind you or beside you and giving you that encouragement, you know, because that's one of the fruits or the byproducts of his love for you. So that says a lot about him, too.
That is one of the things that makes me almost the most emotional, because he is my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
He is my biggest cheerleader. He's the one promoting my books and vote for her for National Guard Spouse of the Year. And like, he is my biggest cheerleader. And that is something I have prayed for very hard. And it is a beautiful thing to actually see that is possible, to feel truly loved.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I congratulate him and you.
Thank you.
On that.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, I'm pretty sure the rest of your journey is going to continue to be as spectacular. But we have more questions, though. So I'm getting all choked up and emotional, and like we're about to end. But we're not about to end, because we've got some more questions. And we also probably have some segues, too. But, okay, so having said that, military spouses, all right, whether they're National Guard or active duty, there's probably a lot of misconceptions about military spouses. All right. So what are some of the misconceptions people have about military spouses that you want to clear up right now?
I think the biggest one for me is they all think we're so brave and we're so powerful and we're so independent. Shit, we're just trying to keep it together. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, every day is like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Every time we move, it doesn't matter where we go. I'm like, I can do this for 2 years. I can do anything for 2 years. I can do this for 2 years. It's that we're just trying to keep our shit together too. I want to get to a place where I can put up lights at Christmas and not have to take them down. Or I can join that mom Bible study. You know, like I want to get to where we plant roots and nobody says, hey, you're leaving. And this is where you're going. You get no choice in that. So I think the biggest thing is, like, we may appear to be brave and stuff, but a lot of times we're just holding our shit together.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
So what would be one of the most rewarding parts of advocating for military families specifically?
The biggest thing is when I hear a spouse or a family say, I no longer feel alone. I feel seen. I feel supported. You know, recently I went up to Washington, D.C., and I was on Capitol Hill just fighting for military spouses. There's so many changes that need to be done. I feel like we're forgotten about a lot, which is crazy to me, because guess what? When our spouse deploys, we're the ones at home holding it together.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, when we move and we PCS every time, we're the ones at home holding it together. They go in and do their job, and I've got 3 children living with us that are like, I hate this place, or what would you take us, or what the heck? And I'm like, oh gosh, this is so much to just, it's a tough life. And I think we are worthy to be seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
So if you could influence one major change for military spouses nationwide, what would it be?
Recognition.
Recognition?
Recognition. I see, we went up to D.C. and I did all the things there. It was amazing to see all these women come together, and men, like all these spouses come together. I will tell you, the best support system I've ever had is military spouses. Every time we move, there's some kind of support group or Facebook page or something that you can say, hey, what doctor should we start going to? Where should I get my hair done? There's always that. And I will say, after I did try to commit suicide, the women that were at my doorstep the fastest were the military spouses. And I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, it doesn't matter where I go in this world, I have a friend. And that's a beautiful feeling.
That's awesome.
Okay, so on the topic of suicide, now, was that a result of your alcoholism? And so have those feelings subsided since 6 years ago?
Yes. The first year, no. the first year it was still a thought that would come to me, because it was almost like that fight, flight, or freeze. Like I
Yes.
felt like that was going to be the answer. Like that was going to be the be all. But being fully transparent, I haven't talked about this a lot. Looking back, it's just selfish. I can't now imagine my children having to grow up without their mom because I was so selfish and had to take my own life.
Right.
Instead of one of the easiest things, I say it again, is asking for help. Go to counseling, get a therapist, tell a friend.
Right.
Like today, if you're struggling, reach out to one person you trust, a friend, a family member, share what's going on. Because the problem is, a lot of people had no clue how unhappy I was or how depressed or anxious. And like I said, we hold it together. And so reach out and start asking people in your community, how are you today?
Yeah.
Is there something you need to talk about? Do you just need a friend?
Yeah.
So that was a big part of my journey. Like I felt like I had to stay hidden when I really could have asked for help.
Yeah. So after we talked the first time, and you had made the comment that I had not been to your Facebook page. Well, I went to your Facebook page after you said that.
When it started, like, do you like beer? I was like, oh, this guy does not know me.
Yeah, so
He has no clue what's about to come his way.
Yeah, and so I went to your Facebook page. Okay, so and you know, I looked through like all your stuff, all your pictures and stuff, and that's where I got the one with all your books from. So and I can edit this out because I might be wrong. So were you on a weight loss journey too?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's a great question. I don't get asked that a lot.
Yeah.
I just would eat and drink to just...
Okay, so those pictures of you standing sideways and frontways, that was you?
That's me. Yes. I
Holy
lost 85 pounds. 85 pounds.
Holy
And people were
smokes.
like, how did you do that? It's crazy. The first thing was a mindset. I had to realize, like, I can lose this weight. It's going to take work.
Yeah.
Everything starts with a mindset.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And then it was like the eating healthy, and then the working out, and just getting, the biggest thing I tell people, do one thing for yourself each week.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be buying these red bottom shoes or these fancy purses. Get outside.
Yeah.
Go take a bubble bath. Read a book. I read a book a week because it brings me joy. Find those things in your life that brings you joy.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of sort of segued a little bit, but let me get back on track real quick. Okay. So, if someone picks up one of your books for the very first time, which one would you recommend they start with, and why?
A Queen Saves Herself, because it talks a little bit about everything. So Healing Cocoon and Broken Wings, Broken Dreams are just focused on pregnancy and infant loss. But A Queen Saves Herself and the Queen's Companion book are the kind of two that go together. The Queen's Companion book are steps that I've taken to feel worthy and beautiful and work through trauma, abuse, addiction, all the things. And so I would say start with The Queen Saves Herself, where you're kind of getting a little bit of the background so you can get a little bit of everything. Because by the end of the book, you're going to say, like, holy crap, I am beautiful. I'm not just enough. I'm more than enough. So I would totally start with that book.
Does your husband ever get any of the backlash from your past trauma?
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure he has to work through it with you too.
He does. It probably took me being married to him 8 years before I trusted him, because I'd been so burned by people in my past. 8 years. But the way
After getting married.
after getting married.
Oh.
After getting married.
Fully,
Yeah.
fully trust.
Okay.
One of the things we learned very quickly was honesty and being transparent and communication. So it was hard in the beginning, but then when I did get sober, some of the things we implement every Friday night, we go on a date night. Our kids know that this is where mommy and daddy are going. They're going to be out of the house. We learned each other's love language, which ours is communication.
Right.
It's or the words of affirmation. So it's really figuring out what makes each other tick. But I gotta say, the biggest thing, it's communication. You gotta be able to talk about stuff. And there'll be moments where I said, I can't. A couple of weeks ago, he was gone, and every single shit that could hit the fan when he was away. I mean, the dog got sick, a tree fell on, took the lights out in the house, like everything. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just a conversation, like, okay, what can we do here? What can we make this work? How can I help you here? So it's definitely having conversations.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Good deal.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
So, National Guard Spouse of the Year. Throughout that year, this is kind of like a two-part question. Throughout that year, what are you hoping? Like, what is your highest end goal? What are you hoping to achieve? And then what do you want people to remember about your time?
I truly pray after this year, first, I'm not stopping. There's nothing that can stop me now, like nothing that can stop me. But I truly pray that people look at this year and say, she kept her word. She said she was going to keep fighting. She said she was going to keep taking a stand. Because I get called out on social media and stuff too. I'm very honest. If you look at I'm very honest. I talk very openly about my past and what I've been through.
Right.
And I get back, why are you sharing? I'm like, well, then unfriend me and block me if you don't want to read the damn thing. Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I pray when I'm finished with this year that people say, I finally feel seen. I finally feel heard, and she truly did make a difference.
Yeah.
That is my prayer.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, normally what happens, right, is before we end, and we haven't even gone an hour yet, so we have lots of time.
Questions.
So we have questions. Okay, so what we're going to do, right, is if you have time, we're going to take a little breaky break, and we're going to come back for the second half, and we call that the freestyle segue. And these are just questions that popped up in our brains
Love it.
as we were doing the formal questions.
Yep.
Okay, so Fairbanks, North Star Borough. Okay, if you guys are still with us, thank you. So I know you're still with us. So we're gonna take a quick little break, and we're gonna come back for the second session, and we're gonna do a couple of segues, a couple of freestyles, and then we'll end it on one final question. And on that note, we'll be right back. Welcome back, Fairbanks, North Star Borough. Okay, so this is gonna be our part 2 segment, and this is where we just freestyle, we segue, and we just ask questions that came off the top of our head. Well, although I have a couple of questions that we had, so when I came up with these questions, there were about 30 something questions, and we had to filter them out to get down to the best 20. So there's some remaining questions that didn't pop up in my head, but there's some good questions that I'm gonna ask. And but I know that Alexis has got some questions, and I know Brandon's got some questions too. So we're gonna get back, ask a few questions, and then we're gonna end it. But I know you guys have enjoyed everything thus far. And once again, in the descriptions, we're gonna put links to Nicole's socials. And so please, when you get a chance, send me all your links.
Absolutely.
So that I could cut and paste them into the podcast episode. Go ahead, Alexis. Go ahead and start it off.
Okay, so you've got a few books that you've already written. When you were going through the process of writing your first book, how did you decide this is the first thing that I'm going to talk about? How did you kind of like, with all the things that you've gone through, how did you say, okay, this is exactly what I want to publish right now?
So my first book was the Queen's Companion book, Rule Your Throne, Own Your Queendom. And after thinking about the pregnancy and infant loss and the abuse and the addiction and all the things, I wanted to start with something that covered a little bit of everything instead of just going into pregnancy and infant loss or just abuse or addiction. So I chose that book so it could really help a lot of people, where it's not just pigeonholed in one category. Anybody can pick it up and say, oh, by the end of this, I'm going to love myself and I'm going to feel more worthy and I'm going to be happier. And that was the point of that book.
I can throw them off.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So if your younger self could see the life you're living now, what do you think would surprise her most?
Oh my gosh, I think she would be shocked. Shocked by a lot of things. Shocked that I'm 6 years sober. Shocked that I'm married to someone that treats me like a queen. Shocked that I have this huge family with 6 children, and proud.
Yeah.
Proud of how much I've been able to overcome and accomplish in this life. Very proud.
Got you. Okay. How many? Okay. So your oldest child between the both of you is how old?
So we have none biologically together.
Okay. Yeah. True.
Okay.
But yeah. So how old is the oldest?
20. She's 20.
Okay. So you're not a grandparent yet.
Not a grandparent yet. Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Okay.
Not ready for that. no.
Okay. Now, so have you guys gotten to the point where you've all gotten to spend like a holiday together, Thanksgiving, Christmas with everybody together?
Yeah.
That's that's got to be an awesome
It's amazing.
time,
It's
right?
amazing. I remember when they were younger, though, I was like, how are we going to do the Santa thing? There's just way too many kids here.
Yeah.
So we started doing 3 gifts for Santa, or 3 gifts a year. Something you read, something you need, and something you want.
Yes.
So they each got that. And then we plan a big trip. Like we
Yeah.
started, have you guys taken a cruise? Like we're on this like cruise thing right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. I'm scared of cruises too. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be on that one boat
That something
where
happens.
we're like Ebola and we're all quarantined,
All right, fair
and I
enough,
don't
fair
have
enough.
that much sick leave. Well, I got a lot of sick leave, but I don't want to burn my sick leave because I can't get off the boat.
Okay, fair enough. I like it because it's the one place you don't have to cook, you don't have to plan,
Yeah.
you don't have to clean. It's like
Yeah.
the one place you can.
Well,
go
that's
with.
Vegas though.
That's why I go to my mom's
Okay,
house.
but not with the, I'm talking about a family trip.
Go to Vegas.
Not with
Yeah.
the kids. Like, good.
Oh yeah, true.
Take those little guys.
Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Brandon, you good?
So I actually didn't come up with any questions, which is rare. I usually have questions, but I do have more of a statement. Listening to you today, you have a very amazing and powerful journey that you've gone through, and it could have gone a lot of different ways, and you embraced it. And I just want to congratulate you on what you've done with it, and also say thank you for helping
Thank
those that need help. I think that's a really awesome thing.
Thank you.
So-
And it's when I hear that, it never gets old to me. Like it makes me emotional just hearing that from you, thinking of how much I've had to overcome and how much pain I've had to turn to purpose. And I truly do pray that one person that hears this conversation today is touched, and then I've done exactly what I'm supposed to do. So thank you. That means
You're
a
doing
lot.
a fantastic
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
Okay, so what advice would you give to a brand new military spouse who feels overwhelmed?
Find your people.
Okay.
Find your people.
That
Don't-
village.
Yeah, find it. Every time we move, I do 3 things. I find a good yoga, find a
There
good
you
hairdresser, and get a good Bible study.
Yeah.
And I do that so I can have my people. That would be the biggest advice is don't just hide, get out, especially here in Alaska, get outside and find your people.
Okay, so so having said that, so I've talked to you and your husband off camera. So he's stationed down in Clear.
He is, yes.
Okay, so for you guys that don't know, that are listening out of state, okay, so Clear, it used to be Air Force Base, now it's the Space Force, and it's like way out there in the middle of Alaska, like right.
Hour and a half, 2
Like,
hours.
so it's like out there. So are you guys? So is that where you live?
Oh no, let me tell you about this.
Is that where you live?
Well, we bought this house in North Pole. And
Oh, so he commutes
oh,
to
yes.
Clear?
And not every day. He commutes
Okay.
on a Monday and is gone till Thursday.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, driving that.
That is why.
Oh.
That's why I'm on countdown to retirement. This has been the hardest one. This has been really hard.
Have you been to Clear?
Oh yes.
It's out there, isn't it?
It's out there.
God.
It's out there.
Ooh,
So we couldn't live out
wee.
there. There aren't schools
Yeah,
and stuff for
there's-
the
Ooh.
kids. But he's gone every week, and I'm like, I need help. This is
Yeah.
so hard.
So he's deployed, but he's not
smokes.
deployed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like Clear is out there.
It's out there.
Wow. Kudos to y'all.
Somehow he pulled a fast
because-
one on me. He told me it was gonna be one night a week he'd be away. It's like 3 nights.
Well, you know, so you know what's funny, right? So you know what's funny is because before you said that, and then you guys told me that he was assigned to Clear, I'm thinking, damn, they drove all the way up from Clear just to be on the
No.
36th podcast.
I'm a lonely one in North Pole with all these children that need everything. So.
Okay. I was about to say, oh man, look at us. We got people driving from Clear to be on 36th podcast. Okay.
Oh, he did. You got him.
Well, yeah, but he's been here because it's a 4-day week. Well,
Correct.
okay,
4-day
so
week, yeah.
so Air Force, do they get the same type of?
They do. They
But-
do. So he's off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday this weekend.
Man, you know, I'm gonna
Nice.
tell you what though. So I'm gonna tell you, I as a Department of the Army civilian who works on Fort Wainwright, I have never been to a base or location that has as many 4-day weekends
I know.
as
It's crazy.
as the bases in Alaska.
I know.
I'm like, I love it up here. It's like this is amazing.
It's
They
amazing.
also added an extra day off, like in the wintertime, the first like weekend of the month.
Yeah.
they do an Alaska Experience Day. So your
Yeah.
job is to go out and experience Alaska, go skiing, go dog sledding,
Really?
and like really learn to love it here. So we get like an additional day.
Oh,
That's
excuse
kinda
me.
cool.
Excuse me. Okay, so wait. So allow me to digress. Sergeant First Class Alexis
James.
James. All right. She is okay, so what's your job again?
I am the 11th Airborne Division Innovations NCOIC.
Okay.
And I'm stationed up here at Fort Wainwright.
Okay, so That's what she does. So all the neat gadgets that the soldiers get to play with up here in the Arctic, it's all because of her office, and she is the NCOIC. Now, having said that, what we're going to do is we finally got our questions. So we finally got the thumbs up for our questions that we're going to ask you from Public Affairs. So in order for me to have her on the podcast as a guest, I had to submit my questions to the Army Public Affairs. They had to vet them. And then from there, they say either yay or nay. And so they came back and said yay. So sometime in the near future, we're going to have you on
That'll be another one.
as the guest on the orange
I
microphone.
get to be guest this time.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about all the cool stuff that that the soldiers get to play with, or that you guys, that comes across your desk.
Absolutely. So with that, right, it is your guys' first winter here. Oh. And it was arguably one of the coldest winters that Alaska has seen in the past. I don't know how many.
So since like 1935 or something, somebody was telling me this has been the coldest winter since the 1930s.
How did you handle that?
It was brutal.
Yeah, especially with you being in North Pole and him being down in Clear.
It was really brutal.
Okay.
But one of the things we started doing is we taught the kids how to snowboard, and we started skiing. So we were up at Fort Wainwright every single weekend doing that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Wait, doesn't Eielson have a?
Not anymore.
Okay, but
Shut down.
okay. So whenever I pass by, you still see in the mountain.
It's not active. It's not open.
Oh, it's not open?
No, we had to go to Fort Wainwright.
Oh. I wonder why it's not open. There's not that many people that take an interest in it.
I have no clue. You just never know. They just shut it down randomly. That was another reason why we did say yes to Alaska as well. We were talking to someone. She said people pay thousands of dollars to go there. Thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
They're gonna pay you to live there.
Exactly.
And so that was a huge part. Like that, we bought the camper, we bought the truck, we did the whole thing. We've been taking the kids camping. We're gonna go fishing this summer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It again is a mindset. We were talking about that earlier. Get out.
Yes.
Make it the most. This is something. Looking up at when you look at the lights, the northern. You can't make it up.
Yeah.
When you come outside and there's a moose in your backyard while you're drinking coffee.
Yep.
You can't make that shit up.
I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, so on the Fairbanks, Alaska page, and everybody starts posting pictures of the auroras and stuff, Northern Lights. The best pictures come from like people who live in North Pole.
It's amazing. We have
I don't know.
street
Yeah,
lights.
I don't know what the hell the
lights.
difference is between North Pole and Chena Hot Springs Road where I live, but I don't see shit. Like when people say go outside and look at the lights, I go outside in my house. I'm like, I don't see shit.
No, it's unreal in North
I'm
Pole.
like,
We're
this
talking
is
about
crazy.
the purples and the pinks, and then if you go to Clear, because there's nothing around Clear. It's like your own light show. And it takes your breath away, and it doesn't get old. It never gets old.
And so you can only experience that kind of stuff, like up here in the last frontier.
Yesterday I had a discussion about how toxic Alaska weather is, and I said you go through the most difficult
right now,
hard winter, and then as soon as spring comes and there's sunlight and daylight, you're like, you know what, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
I can do it again.
I know, and that's why people stay. But I gotta say, like, I'm a very happy person after getting sober, like excited about all the things. But this was tough. When they say when it's dark all the time, I was like, oh God, I definitely need back in therapy. Oh yeah.
Okay. So
did you up your vitamin D?
I did all the things.
Okay.
And it was still like,
it was still rough.
it was rough.
Okay, so here's the thing about that though. Okay, so it was my impression when I PCS'd up here in 2018. It was my impression that it's going to be like just like dark.
Oh, like pitch black
all the time, right? But in all actuality, like the sun will. Okay, so in the summertime, the sun does like this. You're straight overhead, right? Like almost now it's straight overhead. In the wintertime, it kind of sort of does this over the horizon, so it's kind of sort of light from about 11.
It's about 2,
2:30.
And when you have kids though,
It's
that is
3 hours
so
and
rough,
41
especially when they've got to
minutes
get
of
out to the
daylight.
bus and all the things. Like
It's
those hours aren't.
Okay, so I got a question to ask you though. Okay, so because you have kids. And so my because my kids are like 40 and 36. All right, so in the wintertime, and it's dark. I get off of work from my day job, and it's dark at 5 o'clock, and I want to go to bed, right? But in the summertime, it's light,
I know.
and it's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I don't
know. I
don't want to go.
the lights.
Okay,
As soon as we moved here in July,
how do you deal with that with kids?
blackout curtains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blackout curtains.
curtains.
They're like a
we have them
miracle.
in our house.
But my kids
all
are
over.
older, so I'm letting them play basketball out at midnight. Like that. My kids are older. With little kids, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine
Yeah.
this being your first duty station with little baby. You go crazy because it's so cold too. It's not like you can just go to the park. I mean, there's just yeah.
Wow.
So being the only one who was actually born and raised here, I tell you, it is worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely gets better.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And yes, this last winter was one of the roughest one, but I do remember doing Halloween where I wore my costume underneath my snowsuit.
Yeah.
Because it was 20 below.
Gosh.
when I was,
Someone told me the other day that they
years
had
old.
snow here in June before, which is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Like a snowfall.
Yeah.
I think it was like up in the hills, but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love it here. It's this what you said. Now that it's nice outside and we're here at this brewery, like it is so. And then you like do forget how horrible that winter was. Let's keep going.
All right. So, any more segues? Because I've got a few more. I'm thinking, and then we're gonna close out. Because we got about 30 minutes before the breakdown. Okay. So. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, for anyone else out there who does have a story or is struggling and is thinking about publishing a book, what would be your advice for them?
I think the biggest advice would be for me is to do it. Just and I think I did have a publisher, but I think I would say self-publish. Just get it out there, do your own work, and then that you have full rights so you can do whatever. If you want to make it into something bigger, like I hope one day that mine can be a Netflix series, like,
That'd be cool.
and then you've got 100% rights to your book. So I would say do the work, but then also set time each day. That was the biggest thing for me. Like this is the time while my kids are at school. I've got this hour block that you got to write. So you could definitely got to start a schedule and get committed to it. But I think the biggest advice is just do it. Do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So, are you guys done? Because I'm gonna ask one more question, then we're gonna close it out.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right. So, Nicole,
Yes.
what does service mean to you personally, even though you're not the one wearing the uniform?
Service is huge to me, and that's really been a part of my life forever, wanting to give back and wanting to give to others, and that's why I continue to do what I do. I've been very blessed to have turned a lot of pain into purpose, but I stay humble. I remember where I came from. I remember being almost homeless. I remember the molestation and the rape and the addiction, and I just really want to keep putting out there that the importance of asking for help and sharing your story so you're not going with it alone. So I think that sorry, what? Go back to the question.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I got so much for the answer. I'm like, whoa, where am I taking this?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, service.
Yes. Service. Yes.
Also, that you don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to blow it up on social media. You don't have to write all the books. Service can be being a friend, being a listening ear, to asking someone, hey, do you need to talk today? You want to go for a walk? Do you want to grab a coffee? I think, service can mean a lot of things. I've been very blessed to be on Capitol Hill and the Pentagon and fighting, but my favorite place to be is in the parking lot or being at someone's kitchen table. That's service to me. It doesn't have to be this massive thing where you're changing the world, which that's my purpose, but just being out there and being a lending hand, especially in this cold place that we live that can be really rough, just making sure that you're getting out there and being there for others.
Okay. So I lied about the last question.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So So how did you find your way to the Capitol?
Being a military spouse and winning National Guard Spouse of the Year.
Okay. So
Yes.
winning Military Spouse of the Year is what
Got me
gave
to
you the
that.
audience.
Correct. To make this bigger.
Okay. And so that's just been a recent.
That's recent.
Okay. And so.
So while I've always had the platform of building the support groups and being the advocate, this has allowed me to make it even bigger.
Okay, and so this is crazy how. So I'm not trying to advocate this, y'all, but this is just how it happened. So at the beginning, and you said on your dating apps, no military men. so I mean, but we're not, but we're not, but don't count out. So don't count out a service member, basically. I don't know. So
No. I would say as hard as this life can be, it is the most rewarding.
Yes.
It is the most
Yes.
beautiful. I have family all over the world now. We have an incredible marriage because we get to experience something so different than other. I mean, think of although we've moved 9 times, we've got to see so many amazing things.
Absolutely.
And my kids get to experience these different cultures and these different religions and these different communities. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
yeah, my kids, they still talk about the 3 years we spent in Germany. Like it's left an
That brings my heart
everlasting
joy.
impression on
I'll
them.
never forget it.
Yeah. Now, so have you been to Europe? But at the base of the Neuschwanstein Castle, there's a little village, and then I had the best. It's their beef. Nuh-uh, it's the beef goulash. Goulash soup.
goulash.
I had the best goulash soup ever at the base of the Neuschwanstein Castle. But anyways, I'm sitting here going, and this is supposed to be like your interview, and I'm sitting here and I'm talking about goulash in Germany. Anyways, I'm sorry.
You're all good.
Let me get myself back on track. What? Oh, you got a question?
No, I think I'm good.
Are you good,
I think so.
Brandon? Good.
I am good.
Okay, so it is it's 1:30, so we have 30 minutes. Is there anything you want to ask us, Nicole?
Why is this one orange? How does the person? That's my question.
Right? Where's the orange one?
No, what you said when I get to the interview, I'm at the orange. Like, why orange?
Okay, so you know what? So red because my business, Custom Creations, my colors for my business are red, black, and white.
Okay.
Right? And then 36 the podcast, the 36 is red. So,
Yeah.
so my
Are you a Georgia fan?
no,
Okay,
no,
'cause
no,
that's their colors,
no.
too.
And so the green one, and so
I like the color green.
so
I'm happy with it.
yeah, so I just pulled them out the bag. So okay, so
There's
so
no deep meaning to this.
yeah, so I
can
got
be.
these. Yeah, so I got these off of Amazon. These covers because they used to all be black, and so I wanted us to have our own colors. So when I got the bag of microphone covers in, I was like, well, mine is red, and then Jeff could be green, and Brandon could be blue, but the guest could be orange. But actually, I've got 2 more colors, pink and whatever. There's another pink and a purple. There's another pink and a purple that are in the bag, and I just never thought about putting those on. But I might swap them up for the guest. I don't know.
Cool, right? There's a lot of people on their healing journey, doing inner work, etc., trying to take care of themselves better. Do you ever utilize either like health books, or would you advocate more for going to counseling?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Mine started with self-help books.
Okay.
But I'm a very visual learner, and I knew that about myself. So I knew that I would need homework, and a lot of therapists or counselors don't do homework. And so that is one thing I've implemented big time in my counseling when I work with others. I'm going to give you a list of things you need to do each week, because that is how I learned. And that's why I wrote my books, The Healing Cocoon and the Queen's Companion book, because it's literally step by step by step. I feel like you can just kind of tell your story to anyone. Like I need like feedback, like what's, you know what?
Yeah.
So definitely both, but my journey started with self-help.
Okay.
Books.
Awesome.
Okay, so one more question. Okay, so what's your timeline between books?
These all
Of
came
those
out
4.
fast. They were a year apart, one by one by one. Honestly, I think if I wrote another book, I really want to write one on each one of my tattoos, because they each mean something. Like
Okay.
I've got my sobriety anniversary. I've got a cardinal that represents, every time I see a cardinal, I know it's my son who passed away. They each like have a story. I think that would be a really cool book, like an inspirational book that shares, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
That would be, I don't know, just my 2 cents.
Okay.
So,
all right.
as far as your sobriety journey, did you what guidance or what help did you have, or did you go to certain meetings, or was there something that you utilized to help you throughout that time?
That's really good as well. So it goes back to A Queen Saves Herself. When I woke up in the hospital bed, I just didn't want another drink. I knew something had to change. I stopped using. I went to a
So
doctor.
just right then and there.
Right then and there.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
Okay.
Never had another drink, never did. I didn't have to go to AA. AA is a great resource. That was just something that I just was done. I did not want to continue throwing away my life.
Was there at any point, did you ever have other people were drinking around you and you were kind of like,
In the
feel
beginning, I couldn't be
uncomfortable.
around it at all.
Okay.
We kept no alcohol in the house. I couldn't go to bars. It was about 2 years in where I started feeling a little bit more comfortable, so my husband would keep. But mine was champagne and wine. So to this day, we still do not
Okay.
keep champagne and wine in the house. We're not going to attempt that.
Right.
But about 2 years in, I realized, like, okay, I'm okay going to the bar. But I will say, if people are just so intoxicated, that's I have to walk away.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
be around
Yeah,
that. And I'm so
exactly.
sober, and I hear
Yeah.
these conversations, the way
Yeah.
people are acting, like, what are
Yeah,
you doing?
you're like,
Wow.
man, I used to act like
know,
that.
what the
I
hell
know.
is wrong
Oh,
with me?
wow. Yeah.
And I don't miss being hungover. I don't
Yeah,
miss feeling like
yeah.
I gotta drink all the Gatorade and get through the day. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
miss that shit.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, it's been the hardest thing I've done besides working through child loss, the hardest thing I've done, but the best decision I ever could have made. I
Yeah.
feel beautiful. Like, I've got so much energy and so much life. My marriage is great.
Yeah.
I'm great. Like,
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
decision I ever made.
Awesome. Okay, I think we're about to wrap up.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Fairbanks, Northfield Borough, thank you guys for joining us. This has been a very, very enlightening episode, and I'm sure that we all got something good out of this. So, once again, I'll add Nicole's links in the description. So if you want to delve deeper into, what it is that she's done or where she's going, or follow her, then please feel free to check out the links in the description for this episode. On that note, I'm Tilden,
I'm Alexis.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Nicole.
and this was 36 the Podcast. We
36
are out.
the podcast.
Peace.
Podcast 36.